Rob Spangler in studio here on WGLR, and we are joined by a very special guest. She joined us last month. So glad to have her back. It is Dr. Erin Kennedy from Dubuque. And first of all, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me. It's great to be here again.
So we want to talk about cool sculpting. Now, Dr. Kennedy, this is something that I would use the term has taken off like wildfire in popularity. People have probably even heard of it, but give us that overview. What exactly is cool sculpting?
Cool sculpting is a great technology which uses the cold to selectively damage the fat cells. That you have your skin on the outside, your muscle on the inside, and we all have a different thickness blanket of fat in between the two. About 25 years ago, two gentlemen out in California they started investigating how the cold works on the fat cells in the tissues and what the perfect sweet spot was of how cold you could make it to optimally kill the fat, but not damage, give frostbite to the skin, give stiff muscles or funky sensations. So they found that, and then they developed applicators which suck the fat up into them to try to deliver the cold energy and monitor, make sure it's not too cold, but it's cold enough. And then that can selectively treat those fat cells and damage them right at that time. So the damage is done, and you get on with your life, and over the next several months, the fat will reabsorb.
Now, people can get cool sculpting at your office right here in the tri-state area. And maybe the best part of this is not only is it effective, but it is non-invasive, no surgery involved. You're in and you're out. It doesn't even take that much time, Dr. Kennedy.
That's true. It is local. That I'm right here in Dubuque. I've been here for 23 years.
They come in, there's no anesthesia, there's no operating room, there's no garments afterwards to help hold things where they belong. There's no sort of the drugged feeling or the hangover feeling from anesthesia. You come in, you have it done, and then you can go to work, you can go to the gym, you can go to the grocery store, you can go about your life just like nothing happened, and there's really no downtime, no minimal to no discomfort, and it's a great technology.
You know, that's interesting you bring up the discomfort thing, because when you're talking about freezing fat cells, a part of your body, you tend to think, oh man, that sounds like it could be painful. It's not painful, is it?
No, it's really not. Most people will feel the fat gets sucked up into the applicator when we apply the cold sculpting technology. Then they'll feel it get cold, and then it goes numb, and it's very, very comfortable. People will sleep, work on their computers, watch TV, do whatever they want.
Just like when you come in from out of the cold, sometimes your fingers will burn a little bit when the blood starts going back into them. Sometimes right when the treatment is over, people will have a couple minutes where it's a little bit more that sensation of your fingers. But other than that, there really is not much in the way of discomfort or downtime at all.
And you're in and you're out pretty quick,
Absolutely.
limited amount of time, right?
And we can do it a little bit faster. I actually am the only person in the area that has two cool sculpting machines.
And so people can come in, most of us have either two arms, two flanks, two thighs, and so in the majority of the cases we can do your treatment in less than half the time because we can do two at the same time. You'd have to travel to Des Moines, Madison, Chicago to get that benefit outside of the tri-state area.
Now, a question that people might have, Dr. Erin Kennedy joining us in studio here on WGLR, is how long till you get the results from a cool sculpting treatment?
If a rare percent of people will have a little bit of swelling, and that's generally gone within a week or two, most people will start seeing results within 4 to 6 weeks, and you see your optimal results within 1 to 4 months. And so you're going to see your optimal results by 3 to 4 months if you maintain your weight and tone, and those fat cells are permanently gone, so they will not come back. Even if you do gain weight, you won't gain it in that area.
Let's talk cost, Dr. Kennedy. Not specific prices, but I hear the more you get done with cool sculpting, the cheaper the cost for the consumer. Is that right?
It's absolutely correct that each cycle of cool sculpting treats an area about the size of your hand, my hand, not a large person's hand. And so each of those has a certain cost for us to turn the machine on. And if you only get one,
it may be a certain amount, but if you get 5 to 10, it may be $100 per cycle cheaper than if you were only getting one, and if you do 10 to 15 or so, it might even be cheaper than that. So it is, sometimes people will find that, you know, I thought I was just going to do my tummy, but if I do some on my flanks, it's only another $50 because you've switched a threshold on pricing. So it's a great technology, and the best way to find out is to call the office, come on in, and then you can tell me where you're bothered by. We can explain the cool sculpting technology, tell you what treatment plan would be if you're likely to be treated once or more than once, and then you can get exact costs for exactly what it would cost to undertake what you're interested in.
Dr. Erin Kennedy joining us here in studio on WGLR. And before we wrap up, speaking of that consultation, for cool sculpting, it's a free consultation, isn't it?
It is free. It's something that we just are so happy with the technology and think that everybody needs to know about it, and it's great for almost everybody, almost all body types. You think of it as for thin people with just a little saddlebag or a little pooch down low in the tummy, but we have people who may be somewhat heavier and they're like, I know I'm not going to be a size 6 or 8, but I just hate my chin, or I hate how my arms fit in clothing, and for all body types that there's something that can generally be addressed.
All right, Dr. Erin Kennedy, how do they get a hold of you to set up one of those free consultations?
Best way would be just to call the office. We're at 563-589-9119 right here in Dubuque.
All right, great to have Dr. Erin Kennedy once again in studio with us. Always great to visit with her, find out more about cool sculpting from the office of Dr. Erin Kennedy.
Thanks for having me, Rob.